Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love. Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé.
Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown.
90-day fiancé.
Marrying someone you only met on your phone.
Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love.
It's reality, yes,
Let's love.
Yo, I'm here with, and you know what? This is Toe. This is motherfucking Toe. It's Toe again. I know it feels like the time is just one infinite loop, and I only said that maybe 6 weeks ago. But we're here again, and this is Toe. This is Toe season 5. Because this is Toe the other way, and I am here with two wonderful guests, two friends, friends till the end. That was dark.
We have a suicide pact.
Who did I say that was for one of the show, and it kept getting darker and darker when they would decide to kill themselves with each other. I think I said that it was definitely Tiffany and Ronald, but which we have pointed. Y'all, this is DocuSweeties. This is Chris and Wah. Thank you for joining me today. Maddie's still recuperating from his time on the Swan, getting a new face.
Oh, we are pumped to be here. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you're going to say it, but it is, episode 1 of Toe.
That would have been helpful.
Also, the name of the episode's disgusting.
Yeah.
I didn't write it down.
Okay, I'll tell you. Want me to do it? Or
It's
Chris,
annoying.
you wanna
It's
do it?
annoying.
It's
No,
annoying.
why? I feel like it's you. I feel like it's yours.
Okay. It is. What is it? Season 6?
Season 5.
Yeah, season 5. This is 90 Day Fiancé the other way. Season 5, episode 1. Far Track, the next generation.
Far Trek?
Yeah, yes.
Far Track. Like
Far,
you're going far and you're trekking.
Not Star.
What?
Mm-hmm. Take it in.
Okay. As a closet Trekkie, I am very disappointed in that. As someone who's seen every episode of TNG, I am very disappointed. Yeah, I sometimes give that away. Sometimes I'll talk about someone looking like a Romulan, and Maddie will look at me like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, that is my Trek person calling out."
Yeah, you're
When
like the Borg got them.
Oh, the Borg got them.
Yeah.
Remember season 2 before the 90 Days when Darcy had that high hair, hair, and I said, "Oh, she's serving Romulan realness," and no one knew what it was, or Maddie didn't know what it was, and I had to show him a Romulan. We're getting into a weird area. Or Klingon realness. I can't remember. Who gives a shit? No, this is season 5, episode 1. Far Trek, right? God, that's bad.
It sounds like you're generation.
It sounds like you're saying fart track. It sounds like you're saying like it's someone's gonna fart the whole time and it's Wayne.
Like a laugh track.
Yeah.
Wayne will fart the whole time. It is the fart track. Oh, here. This is all I have for our sound effects.
Oh.
I forgot, and I deleted some of them. Maddie's gonna kill me. He has to he'll have to upload them again. And then I had this one for when we were doing Tyree.
Oh.
This is better than what he did, though. This
My
Euclid is
dad
better.
was murdered in a park, and you didn't think my life could get sadder.
Yes.
But it has, Tyree, it has.
Yeah, his mom had a stroke, and his siblings just pretty much washed their hands of them, and then just yeah.
He
Um,
has a fear of abandonment because he's really never had anyone in his life. And that makes us feel better about ourselves.
And
mhm.
underneath his couch is a lot of things, and that painting behind him is kind of weird. Like,
The B9 this B90 season is, well, I said before when we started it with Amanda and Razvan that this is motherfucking dark with Daddy's Box
Dead daddy box. Yeah, the dead daddy
and
box.
that
Yeah.
the children sleeping with the ashes of the recently deceased father.
yep.
But
I told
this
Chris that this was going to be a
Unwatchable.
couple that I couldn't watch. Yeah.
Oh, it's hard. I will say, it is. I've been calling it before the 90 days, produced by Lars von Trier. Like the whole, especially when you add in David and Sheila, and although they did have the banana donut storyline.
And it's funny because like they like bleep out every cuss word and every sign of like something inappropriate, which I'm like, why are you bleeping it out? Is it because this is going like super international and like it's getting to every country, so you have to bleep out every?
It's that and the fact that they talk about everything else explicitly sexual, but they bleep out certain things. We're only prudish about some things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the David and Sheila thing was hard because his hygiene isn't up to snuff. And
Yeah.
snuff. It's a big. I wish I hadn't said that too, because the
Up to
snuff.
snuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't want to sniff it.
Y'all, he didn't take a shower after that flight and laid on that bed and they banged. I don't know also if anybody saw this. He raised up his arm at one point and there was this, what I could only call a street gang of skin tags.
Okay.
or some kind of cluster of skin tags, like they were planning a revolt.
Yeah, it was like a mushroom garden that was like it was, I don't know, it's fungus, honey, but like it's a patch. It was a
strawberry patch of skin tags, and I immediately felt sick.
I screamed.
And we said it for like 1 second. It was like Mole City. It was just like a moment in skin time. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a situation that
Melanoma Park.
Yes.
But yes,
he needs a derm checkup yesterday.
You can freeze them all off in one setting. Like honey, I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe so much. But yeah, it is that one is interesting. And also, how do you feel about Riley and Violet? And their sense of, well, I know we have to. I love the fact that we're actually talking about Tao, but we're like, oh, Tao, sorry, Toe. But we're like, let's totally talk about before the 90 day too.
No, I'm fine because it's the universe and y'all are friends, so we're here. I want her to completely take him down to every single peg he can. I think he's your garden variety dick, and he expects everyone to love his feelings and hold his feelings above all others. And what she's been saying about this is how Vietnamese women are. I actually, we've been sent a lot of DMs by our listeners, and it's like, yep, she's right. That's my mother. And I asked my friend who has a Vietnamese mom and a Vietnamese, and a white American father, and I went, "Is this?" So she's saying Vietnamese women or Vietnamese people, that's their sense of humor. She's like, "Well, it's definitely my mother's and all of my aunts because they all treat their husbands like shit."
Yeah.
But it's the honesty. I think. My opinion about Riley is I think he expects everyone to, because he's had a hard time. He's the only one who's had a hard time at love.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's had a hard time, we have to treat his feelings like they're incredibly fragile. and she might be a little rough at that, but I don't know. I don't really have a lot of sympathy in that storyline. I think I lost it when he's like, "Yeah, I just stumbled upon a Vietnamese women only chat dating site, and it just feels like garden variety sex tourism to me." So, what am I supposed to do?
It
Yeah.
absolutely is. It
Yeah.
absolutely is. He's trying to, he is like, has been hurt. So now he's going to a foreign
Yeah.
country to find he didn't say demure, but like,
That's
that's what
what it is.
American women, I mean, you know, he met that guy on the airplane and they were
Oh.
he was on his way to Thailand.
In the sex tourist lounge, yeah,
Yes.
of the Philadelphia airport. Yeah, that was the sex
Yes.
tourism lounge. They have
And
one
he's like,
there.
oh my God, he's going to Thailand. I'm going to Vietnam. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are from the same cloth.
Yeah, that guy. I'm really glad we didn't follow that guy. This is my friend Frank.
Remember when Riley like got indignant about his love of Elton John, like episode 1? Okay, just
What is Elton John? He's great.
Yeah.
I still have a problem with like his thing is he smokes cigars during the day at the computer. I have a problem with that.
Yes.
I still think he took it up for the show.
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
way too like it's like, you know, you're not like a rough around the edges guy that like drinks like orange liqueur and smokes cigars
No.
and listens to like sad jazz. You are a big wimp that like cries about his feelings all day long. Like that's
Yep.
who you are. Like you listen to Taylor Swift. I don't want to tell you. No, you do. It's okay, but come on.
It's not like Charlie Parker heroin music you're listening to. It's like Chris Botti playing the trumpet. No offense to Chris Botti or Kenny G. I don't know.
He's a poser.
He's a poser.
Riley is a poser.
I agree. Y'all, let's move on to Toe because I need to
Sure.
talk about Brandan.
I
which
hate it. I hate that there's no E in that word at all.
Or even an O or
Sure.
anything.
Brandan.
It could be an N. It could be an O. But making it an A is particularly offensive. Brandan is going to be it for me. Brandan and Mary. Brandan from Eugene, Oregon. Hot place of white supremacy. I've heard. And Mary, 23, from the Philippines. So I shouldn't say that about Eugene, but I feel like all of Oregon is just like Nazis besides Portland and maybe Bend or something like that. Again, this is what gets me into trouble when I say things like I'm not a Nazi and their picture is like
You're
like
not-
a MAGA flag.
You're not wrong. Even Ashland, Oregon, that was like, oh, Theater Town and Oregon Shakespeare Festival, like pretty much ran out an AD of color.
Oh,
so
that's true. That is very true.
yeah. So
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
And the Oregon Shakespeare Festival has been going on for forever, and who knows how much longer it's going to be. Anyway,
We're not journalists, okay? You don't come to us for the facts.
thank you,
Don't come
Wah.
to us for the
Don't
truth.
come at me. I'm here to provide dick jokes and really inappropriate Star Trek references.
Ha!
Yes.
So Brandan's basically, I wrote down kind of a cover model for Incel magazine.
Oh.
I'm trying to be nice. That's kind of mean. But to be nicer, he's had a really hard time. I did also say that he looked like fabulous drag queen Tammy Brown out of drag.
What, you mean he doesn't look like Harry Potter
Slash-
and Justin Bieber? Yeah.
No, because those eyebrows are wild. His eyebrows need a good threading. Woo!
Yeah, absolutely, honey. The whole season and scene opens horribly. Let me tell you. He's sitting on the throne,
Pooping.
and yeah, in the throne that Camilla Parker Bowles should be sitting on, honey, not one of respect. He's sitting on it, and he has the gorilla style armed. Where he has to take it everywhere because what is he, like a GoPro with his like FaceTime on horizontally because she needs to watch every moment, and she's like, it stinks. He's like, I haven't pooped yet. And then here has the Chiron. Oh, it's like their storyline. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. And yeah, their big thing is that they spend 24 hours a day on the FaceTime, but will then realize that sometimes that's not exactly the case. But first of all, what's the longest that you've been on talking with someone ever? Like 2 hours? What if all was like 2 days? I'm just kidding.
2 hours. Well, I was like, what's wrong with 2 days? I just forget to shower.
No. 2 hours.
Nowadays I won't do it anymore. But I remember in my like 20s, and I was talking to someone for a really long time. We hadn't caught up for so long, or they were telling me about like their marriage dissolving or something like that. Maybe I've had some of those calls. But I had to. I think that they mentioned later, sometimes we fight a lot. That's because you never spend a second apart. Maybe if you'd put down the goddamn phone and poop by yourself, you'd know what that was. So this idea about being on the phone all the time, they're both 23. Is it just something that it seems like they're adding to their collective trauma because they've both been cheated on? So if they're watching each other all the time, they can't fuck anybody else. Is that it? It's strange.
Yeah, I mean, there's all of the like buzzwords that we like hear about on Instagram. Like they feel like they're in a trauma bond together, where they're actively feeding each other's like disordered thinking, and and therefore there's no need to get better or to do the hard work of not being completely codependent on someone.
Right.
And here's the thing. I think that youth is a battlefield for codependency. It happens in so many different ways or whatever, but how strong theirs is, especially when you think about how both of them will admit to the fact that it's detrimental to their lives. Like she's like, tee-hee-hee, even though I'm the one that told him I want to do it, sometimes I turn off my router and pretend that it's broken because of rolling blackout and I go hang out with my friends, and he's like, even though she wants it really bad, it's awkward and it's toxic and I know that my family hates it, but they won't stop. And like they're jealous of each other over dumb things. They both, and like it almost feels like they're in that like cosplay of a relationship where jealousy and like being upset garners more attention, and therefore the bond of like the codependent bond feels stronger in that moment and more powerful.
You just read them for fucking filth. And I'm here for it.
Yeah, for me, I'm just like, he lost me when he said that $2,000 was a lot of money, and it takes it is a lot of money, right? But
it's expensive plane ticket.
It took you 2 years to get it. Like,
I also have a suggestion there. Maybe if you weren't paying an $800 phone bill for your data for your fucking video calls, you could have saved that a little fucking quicker, Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
I mean, Tammy Brown, do the work.
If they haven't...
Beam us up, Teletubbies.
He would have made that money if he had just worked in a supermarket. Or
Thank you.
Somewhere just super, like, whatever, you just go and you get a job at Walmart. You go, you fill out this application online. You get the job. He would have made $2,000 in 6 months.
I agree. I want to know what site he's booking these tickets on. Is he does he need that business class Delta Lounge upgrade?
Yes, we all do.
Because I feel like you could get a Priceline ticket to Manila. I'm just spitballing here. Maybe I'm uproariously out of touch. I think you could get that for $1,000.
I do too.
I maybe y'all can do the research because I'm not going to. But I think $2,000 is like I think he's thinking when it used to be like in the 80s when there was like a chef there preparing your meal on an airplane and everything was really nice. He wasn't born in
the 80s. He wasn't born in the 80s.
You know what? He was born in 1998. So
yeah. He was born in
2000.
2000. Yeah.
Yeah, he was born in 2000.
Fuck.
That is a bébé, okay? That bébé, that's a bébé.
C'est un bébé.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. So yeah, his backstory horrible. Both their backstories horrible,
Mhm.
right? Like his parents break up, then he lives with his mom, and then two half siblings. Honey, I don't know where their father is. I don't know how they came to be, honey. But then in the middle of his youth, he's just like
It's
12.
it's a love after lockup story, basically.
It is.
The mom later on looks like a love after lockup extra. I was like, what show are you on, baby?
She's Amber's friend. She's Amber and Puppy's friend.
You
Oh
are
my God.
absolutely right.
Okay. It's Queen, it's Amber, it's Puppy, and it's that redhead. Okay.
And it's that redhead who kind of looks like slutty young Winona Judd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who lives at a halfway house. That's why she has other women there. So we can talk about that.
Exactly. And y'all, I'm glad mom's sober. I'm glad mom's doing better. And I'm glad this kid is found his way. So obviously there's a lot of trauma there. He is living in, I need to just lay out a couple of things because I wrote down there are so many offensive things in this segment so far. It's hard for me. I wrote down he's living in an RV in someone's driveway, and then he needs to go talk to his godparents at their above ground pool.
It's his godfather's day off, honey, so he's not getting out of that pool. And it's also very hard to do so. So that is his godparents' driveway. Yeah. They were like, hey, just come park your thing and then come every day and tell us what you can do for us.
Have you seen mer people? It's hard to get out of a tank. Very difficult. You have to use your whole arm weight.
I have not. Okay. What the?
Can we mer people is delicious.
Oh, good. I'll watch it.
Well, have you even heard of Mer People?
I have. It's on Netflix. I wanted to watch it, but Witcher was more important.
Mer people will change your life. I'm giving you both that assignment. It's wonderful.
I know you guys talk about it. How many episodes are we in?
Like, there's only 3, and that's it.
Is it a docuseries?
It's a docuseries?
Girl,
Can two
yes.
Sweeties do it? Can
Yes.
two DocuSweeties do it?
Y'all, I can see y'all like leaving your jobs to become mermaids. Maddie wanted to get a tail. Let me just tell you, it is a beautiful story about love, dreams, second chances, and gay men who want to wear tails.
At first, I thought you said love, drinks, and it was like
that too. That too. Anyway, just about this, there is something that feels very love after lockup in this storyline, just because we keep being drawn deeper, and we know there's like 4 traumas around the corner. we're kind of like looking outside over the corners, like what else is next?
What's next is Mary and her gay besties. Can we talk about them?
Okay, thank you. When he said, I'm really worried about her hanging out with her friends who are guys, I'm like, girl, there ain't no guys there. Especially the one with the blonde hair.
Yes.
The one that's like, oh my God, how big is his dick? You're just like, I mean, like that was great. I wait, so we're not gonna talk about the blonde striped dental hygienist, right?
Oh, we're gonna get back to that.
Okay,
but
sorry.
Well, the blonde hair was basically just slinging his purse everywhere. I mean, y'all, Brandan don't have to worry about a thing. Yeah, she voguing. She's just clack, 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 clack.
Yeah.
Don't give her a fan because you're gonna be in for a session.
No, okay.
Anyway, yeah. And the friends are basically like saying, we're worried that he doesn't let you be yourself, and you have to turn off your router. And remember when you were like, you were a best student, and you helped other kids, and you read the Bible, and like the kids were blind, and you were like a mayor of a town or something like that.
Yes.
And it is kind of weird that he said, I don't want you in college anymore. And I'm like, is there more to this? Because I can't imagine this incel saying, hey, I want you to drop out of college. Maybe he did. But it feels weird. I think there's a lot more to her story, especially when she was riding the caribou into town, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, there is. First of all, it was so interesting because he early on was like, I'll tell you the reasons why I love her. She's, top of her class. She's a great dancer, honey. She like Bible, Bible, Bible. And then she turns around, tells her friends that she's no longer doing any of those things because he doesn't want her to. So that's weird. And then, right, the second thing is, let's tell you what it is. Her trauma also is crazy because her trauma is she has a whole ass brother and both her parents had them and they were just like, you know what? We don't want you, both of you, gone. We're gonna drop you off at her parents, and that's all she says. Like she says that her the grandparents raised them, her parents
Yeah.
abandoned them, but like no other information. So like, are the parents together? Are her parents just living the single life, honey? Like by single, I mean like married but no kids life, just like in all of their disposable income in some like
Yeah.
hot penthouse somewhere.
It does feel all pretty soft pedaled. It does feel like we're not getting all the info. I don't know if they're living some type of bougie life apart from. I have a feeling they're probably not doing that well either. This is
Well, hope
our
so and
producer.
don't hope so.
Exactly. Our producer Christina is from the Philippines, and she's like, first of all, bitch was riding a water buffalo, and she's like, only provincial people say caribou.
Okay.
but she also said at least it's kind of nice where she is, but it's remote AF. So when
Yeah,
she's
but like in comparison to where Violet is, like, it's like it was interesting to have both of these Philippine, B footage back and forth. Hers and Violet.
she said that she's a lot.
Not Violet. I'm sorry, Sheila. Sorry,
Sheila. She said that Christina says that that Mary is south of where Sheila is. But yeah, Philippines, y'all, a hotbed of K1 visa activity. Always has been. And I always talk about the concept of, we have the Hazel principle, the Tariq and Hazel principle of it's not a Venn diagram of do I love him or I love him and I want to come to the US. It's a perfect circle. It is, I love him yes, but I want to come to the US. And it doesn't, and culturally it doesn't matter. So that's why we have so much of that. It's not a big deal culturally to say, sometimes my wants are the same, to get out and to love someone.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. Especially, I mean, I can only speak from my experience, Central American, wise. But that's definitely the goal. Is like to to get to the U.S. for a better life for those back home.
Yeah,
or maybe not even those back home, for yourself and the rest of your people going forward. So
exactly.
Yeah, I don't fault them. So my whole angle when I talk about these kinds of shows, 90 Day Fiancé specifically, is because my parents are not a 90 Day Fiancé. But my dad is from Belize and he moved to the US and had a hard time with my mother's family and them thinking that he just wanted her for the green card.
Right.
And they have been married for, since 1976. Who knows how long that is, but it's more than 40.
Does your mother ever throw out or did you just marry me for a green card?
No, because he didn't get his green card when he married my mother.
Oh. Well, that changes everything.
So, yeah. So, I get the foreigner perspective to a certain extent. Yeah.
So the next thing, we have him sending her sweaty BO shirts.
Okay.
Again, lots of offensive things in. Now, she said, and I send him things too. I was like,
panties.
It's panties. It's totally panties that he sleeps in. It's totally panties. And he didn't say anything about it. And he probably sniffs them.
Yeah. It could also be shoes. Panties and shoes.
Oh,
athletic shoes? Whole thing.
He has a thing. Yeah.
He likes a sniff, Yeah, I'll be honest. That part, of all the parts that I found offensive, I didn't feel that part. I feel that part wasn't as bad. Like if you're in a long distance relationship, I think it's kind of cute to do that because you can smell people.
just sending out, just going out to the, just sending them out to the, and just to smell it. I think it's what he said about BO. I think that was, he's like, it was a bunch of BO shirts. Like, he's like, yeah, sometimes I'd get all sweaty. And I was like, oh. Anyway, I also need to point out, you can tell he might be in, let's say, I'm not saying everyone has to have a MacBook Pro or even a Dell or, I don't know, a Compaq. His laptop is an Acer. And I only know that because it's a frequent crossword clue. And I always go, who the fuck has an Acer? Mm-hmm. And it is a very inexpensive laptop model.
Yeah.
That he probably got from a friend. I don't know. I say this, bless him. And I'm going to get in trouble because he'll probably do something really awful later in the show.
Yeah, I think, both these people are sitting in trauma. So it's never going to be a good recipe. Like, it isn't like he's working on himself. He's doing the opposite.
It's definitely two sparrows in a hurricane, as we sang about Stephen and Olga. Like two sparrows in a hurricane. Oh, yes. Lori Morgan. If Matt were here, he'd be screaming, you don't know that song?
I don't know that song. I literally was like, that's a beautiful sentiment. What is two sparrows in a... I mean, yeah, it's a song from Lori.
Basically, it's a song about two young kids. It's like something about... like he holds the keys to her heart, and it's basically who knows if they'll make it, but love says they'll never, or world says they'll never make it. Love says they will. It's basically two kids who don't have anything, and they just love each other. They're two sparrows because like they're being thrown against each other in a hurricane. I don't know. Both of us knew that song, and it seems like it is like singing happy birthday to Matt. Like it's just so normal. But I knew it, and he's saying they're two sparrows. When you do a show with Matt, you have to know all late 80s, well, mostly all 80s country references and most of the 90s country references. And if you don't get them, he just keeps on talking about them until you do.
I'm happy you've done your due diligence, because on our podcast, you have to know like pop, R&B, and 90s and hip hop and music. Like that's all that we do and sing. But neither Wah nor I are big country heads, so
I wasn't either. I did not grow up listening to it. Yeah. The only country that I do know is a lot of 90s country, because where I worked, sometimes we would hear a lot of 90s country. Yeah.
Me too. Cinderella said to Snow White, doesn't love get so off course?
Yes.
So all I wanted was a white knight. Yeah.
Fast horse.
With a good heart. Fast horse. Yeah.
Where you love me. Yeah.
It's a feeling like this.
Like that. You're right. That all happened like
crossover country.
Mm-hmm. I love that one Garth Brooks song. Honey, I can sing Thunder Rolls any time of the week.
Thunder Rolls. I don't know what. Go ahead.
Lightning
strikes. I don't know.
But like 3 a.m. in the morning, whatever.
Yeah.
And coming in.
That was about spousal abuse.
I know.
Yes.
I
the
know.
lightning strikes and the storm goes on deep in her heart, and the thunder rolls. It's so dramatic.
I love it.
I'm gonna get it right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, y'all. Basically, these are two people. He is going to the dentist, and the hygienist is there, and he has to put the thing up there. It's like Jasmine's receipts, and. Like she needs to know, and they're like talking. She's like, "Is it okay if I put a phone up there, my phone up there?" And she's like, "Oh, sure." Like it's just a normal thing. And I would be worried that like someone was putting on a nanny cam or something like that, and they were going to do like a "What would you do" from ABC.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, sure." No, it's weird. It's weird to the cameras. Yeah, it's weird. But I had anybody in, but you're fine, honey. It's fucking weird. Yeah.
And then at one point, I don't know why she has this, but, how sweet. Is this your first love?
I do.
No, she's not. And she goes, well, I'm I'm going to go show the doc to your films. Do you want mint or bubblegum fluoride?
He's like, bubblegum. I'll tell you exactly why. Because this girl is like, you seem like you're 22 or something. You are acting like you are in your first relationship as a
Yeah, you're right.
15-year-old. And so she asks him, your first love, right? Because you're insane. And he clocks that. He clocks it as being, is this because you're immature? And so he wants to be like, no, not my first love, honey. This dick been around the block. So he's like, no, not my first love.
Yeah.
And I think that's how he answers it. But then, of course, throughout the entire segment of this, or throughout their entire segments on this episode, we're seeing Mary break down on camera a lot. You know, like whether they're recording the entire FaceTime to watch her suddenly be like,
okay, bitch has got a cry button. I think she's pinching her leg or something. That's unbelievable. She can cry at the drop of a fucking hat.
oh, you think it's fake?
I don't know. Again, we haven't really seen enough of them yet. I think she's got a lot of trauma, but I wouldn't, that cry, I think it comes really quickly. And also she's very comfortable being on camera. So I'm just saying it out there. Every time I talk about these people, I feel like I'm so fucking cynical, but I think it's it's like, remember Brandan and Julia?
Yes.
Brandan and Julia was a perfect example of someone who was born to be on television.
Brandan.
And Julia could make an emotional moment out of anything, and she was born for it. And anyway, so
every time Mary cries, I'm like, girl, just go take a nap. She's like a fussy baby. You know, like a baby that just cries for no reason, and you're just like, go, let's put this baby to sleep. It's like, go take a nap, girl.
It's like all 23-year-old girls are just tired all the time.
Yes.
And
hungry.
They're in their pajamas or a hoodie.
Yeah.
All they need is a nap.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that's a good point.
A nap. Yeah.
I think that's about it. Anything else more about this couple? I frankly am worried. There's a lot of red flags being thrown here.
The only thing that I want to say is that I think it was really interesting how fast he turns on. Yeah, how fast Brandan turns on his family, especially his younger siblings, when they're like, "We miss you. We want to be around you," and he's like, "Let's be clear. I just found out about you guys. Okay, I haven't seen you. Like, I don't have any responsibility to you, half-ass siblings." Like, the fact that we know that they're his half siblings just shows how fucking connected he is with them. And I'm just like, this, and I love how like the mom and the sister had the same eyeliner, just one with like a good eyeliner and one with just like shadow from the 90s, and you're just like, girl, get you a liner. Can you talk to your daughter about that real quick? But,
let your daughter do your makeup. Let your daughter do your makeup.
Absolutely. And then that mom standing 10 tones down about how like, I'd be damned if I let my son blah blah blah. And I'm like, your son is still very hurt from things that you caused for him.
Exactly. And that's why it feels like he's using this relationship to weaponize and hurt his family. And it feels like he's saying, I'll do whatever the fuck I want because you've never been a mom to me. And how dare you come in here? And I kind of got that feeling, and I feel like he's a little justified. And I feel like the show is trying to give the parents' perspective. Like, I don't think this mom's really been there a lot. So you haven't earned that. We've all watched Love After Lockup long enough, and we know when a parent has been out on you that, you know, it's not your responsibility to do all the work.
Exactly. It's like Puppy and her 5 children that we never talk about, and
right.
Destiny and her 5 children that she like popped up and showed on TV one day.
or Jaden, of course, of the Braden, Jaden, Caden family, who says, you're choosing her over your own family, and you're like, well, you're kind of wise, 8-year-old, but still. And they're like, your relationship is toxic, and all I can think of, like, you know, what were you like? What were you like 20 years ago?
Yeah.
But so I feel like there's a little bit going on there. They're trying to show the nicest parts of his family, maybe. But who knows? I don't know. It is very Love After Lockup adjacent for me.
Absolutely.
Anyway, shall we move on to Holly, 44, Ogden, Utah. Wayne, 40, Johannesburg.
Do you believe she's 44?
No.
Yeah.
There's been work done, but it's hasn't
fallen.
Yeah, it's fallen, or it hasn't fully settled from when she had it refigured. Yeah, one part of the lip kind of goes down further than others.
Yeah. It's, she has access to syringes. She's never had a facelift, and she doesn't.
You're right with syringes. It's fillers.
Yeah, it was all fillers. So what's happening is she's a very slender woman, very skinny woman. Not a lot of. So only saying that not a lot of body fat and facial fat as you age. And so what she's done is to give those cheeks a plump, and then like all her lips are bruised. You literally see the bruises that she had just injected. I mean, having said this, I'm someone who's overplucked my eyebrows. I've never been an eyebrow threader or waxer in my life. I can only imagine what I would have done to myself if I had the means and the expertise to think I could. So a lot of these, so a whole other thing is a lot of girls get esthetician licenses and can do that work, and they feel like they also are a walking billboard for themselves.
Yes. I'm not just
she's done it to herself.
Yes, I'm not just a member. I'm not just a president. I'm also a client, like Hair Club for Men.
Yeah, I think she's done it. She did it to herself. And she can. So that's why she
do it to yourself. You do. Yeah.
My mind is fucking blown right now. I need to just sit with this so you guys talk, because
I agree with you, Chris. I don't
think she has the money to be spending a lot of money on fillers and going to some places. She also strikes me as the girl that wouldn't have a lot of female friends in her life.
She mentions, I hate doing women's hair because they're never happy with anything. This woman tried to tell me blah blah blah, and I said, oh yeah, I don't think you probably have a lot of friends. Also, she works in a barber shop and just talks men's ear off on a daily basis. She also leads with the idea that she has a very severe case of ADHD, which this seems like that we're going to continue to talk about. And I'm not downplaying ADHD as a handicap for anybody. It is real. I was diagnosed with it as a child, and but it does seem like we're leading with it a lot both seasons. For her, it does seem like an excuse. I can talk about whatever I want to, but as much as I want to. So I'm sure she talks over all these poor clients.
Oh yeah.
We need to talk about the Rapunzel in the room, though.
Yeah.
This hair is down to her knees.
No thanks.
And here's the thing. I know in some cultures you don't cut your hair. You culturally keep it really long, like indigenous people in the U.S. used to. You did not cut your hair until it was becoming a problem. She said she lets it get down to her knees. The thing about it is, a lot of people who have really long hair put it in braids and keep it up.
Yes.
So it's not, let's say, dragging the floor, collecting dust bunnies, or dragging on your bed. And I thought, can you imagine the level of hair that's on her bathroom floor, or what gets in the ends of that hair? Because she lets it go a lot. She lets it.
She doesn't comb it. We saw her combing just the ends so that she can put it up into a little, I forget what, sponge roller or whatever. That's not a sponge roller, but whatever that newfangled, roller thing is. And she sets it in leopard rollers every night, it seems.
I have a feeling that people are going to come for her about this. It's the fact that the ends look not great. And like if she put it up in braids all the time, we wouldn't have to keep talking about it. I also think this hair is part of her personality, and it's part of her pick-me-ness, and yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I'm just it's to me it's not even hair, it is an extension of her personality. And it's like, yeah, I've got long hair. I went to college with a girl like this. It was all she could talk about was her long hair, and it was 75% of her personality. And that's what this chick is.
Yeah, she's like, I really relate to princesses.
Shut up. Like when I cried, he was blind, and then I made him well. Okay.
Yeah, honey, she thinks she's Samson. She won't cut her hair, honey. It's all her strength, like that she. I told Wah, I don't know if I said it on the podcast or if I just saw it when I said it, that she gave me Drusilla from Buffy the Vampire Slayer vibes.
Yes.
Yes, you
Drusilla.
She has a permanently scratchy voice, honey. Like she's was drinking whiskey and doing whatever the night before. And the final thing I'll say about her hair is this: it's like she says it looks unkept, and it's true. She knows it's true, and she is a hair specialist. She works like in the beauty thing, so you can do whatever you want. But like in my entire life, I would never go to her for anything because I'd be like, oh, I can see how you think this world should look, and I say no.
Yeah.
I say no. That hair is dirty and matted looking. It's just no thanks.
It's like an old dog. After a while, just chunks will fall out. Yeah.
My God.
Agreed. Can we talk about Wayne?
Yeah,
we can.
He's a plumber. He's been on his own since 17. Haven't had a privileged life. That's not South African. I'm sorry. Privileged life. I can never do a good South African.
It's hard to do the South African.
South African. Y'all, here's the thing that we need to know. How they met was a Jehovah's Witness dating website a year ago. And as she says, we don't celebrate holidays or like Christmas or anything pagan or Valentine's Day, which she says times. And I had to pause and rewind it several times to make sure I heard her right.
Did you rewind several times or several times? Sorry.
Times. And I guess it's true. She's right. Valentine's Day is the time around when Saint Valentine was martyred.
Yeah.
So it's the time around
Jehovah's Witness don't have time to celebrate it.
Yeah. Nobody has celebrated Valentine's Day, so
I just went
with everyone.
and just threw my paper. And a flight attendant brought me another vodka.
That's how much she doesn't care about it. She knows that it's Valentine's.
Valentine's. It's not for her.
Yeah, for her.
So he says after 6 months, she went to South Africa and the chemistry was immediate. He asked her to marry him in 3 days. First, she ran away from him, which I don't know if is a good sign. But then he said, I chased her down. Mm-hmm. And then she relented like a hunted animal.
And there's video. There's like recording of her running away from him. So it's great. We saw.
What do y'all think about him? In a weird way, I think he looks... His white hair is something for me. I think he's attractive. He also feels dangerous to me and could choke me in a good or maybe bad way. There's something about him that feels dangerous. I don't know what it is.
His fangs. That's what you're saying. Those fangs inside his mouth. That's what it is. He's hot, but then he opens his mouth, which he tries not to do when he speaks, and you see that he's like got a situation like this.
He does have fangs.
As fangs, so
yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's my Twilight fetish. So she's talking to her coworker, who looks just like Different Strokes Dana Plato, like near the end. That's Kimberly. Wow. And I only know that because I watched a lot of behind the series, different strokes, like Troubled Child Stars. There was a lot
E.
on different strokes because
Oh.
like Todd Bridges had a lot of problems. I
Gary.
think
Gary
I'm
Coleman.
sure Mr. Drummond had a lot of problems. We just didn't really hear about it. Dana Plato. I'm
Gary Coleman.
sure Gary Coleman, of course. And I'm sure the little redheaded kid who was brought in had scabies, or something like that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I'm saying that. I'm not starting a rumor, y'all. Sam, was that his name? Little redheaded one who was brought in when ratings were lagging.
I don't remember.
Who's like Arnold? I just remember the episode with the bike guy very vividly.
Oh, I have to revisit.
It was the one where the bike guy was basically a child molester, and it was so scary to me. Yes.
Oh, I thought
the bicycle repairman.
I thought you were
wasn't
like hot. Oh,
no,
no.
no. It was just really disturbing.
Oh,
and my mom's like, "Yeah, this happens to kids. Yeah, don't go with anyone, little Jaybird.
Don't take no candy.
Jaybird, don't go with anybody unless you say our phrase, which is who loves you more? Your mother loves you the most." No, she wouldn't be that. But
wait,
you had a phrase?
I had a phrase.
We had a phrase.
Yeah.
You did?
Yes. What was your phrase?
Mine was my mother's phrase. Actually, was sorry. Your mother had a closing because my mother sold real estate. And I was picked up almost always by my mom's secretary or one of her friends. It makes me feel very, very latchkey because I would like sit there for like an hour waiting for my mom, and teachers would come out and they're like, "Hey, when's your mom coming?" I'm like, "She's waiting. I'm sure she's working."
Aww.
Just sitting there reading my book about, I don't know, Anne Frank, or wondering why World War I happened.
World War One, like that's the most unpopular of the wars. World War Two.
It is the Great War. It's a shame. The Great War has withered in popularity.
Not
is
cool.
kind of the origins of the Great War are very interesting. I'm going to stop talking because no one gives a fuck about this.
Okay.
No, I do like. I liked it. I like your password or whatever your like secret. Yeah, that would.
Your mother has a closing. Yeah. And there was one time where I was picked up by someone, and it was a man, and I'd never met him before. And he kind of said it wrong, and my brother and I was like, "We don't know if we should go with you."
Yeah.
But it was fine?
It was fine. I went anyway.
Sorry.
I would have just been like, you could have like, there was a hamburger in the seat. I would have been fine.
Yeah, you want to get picked up from school, you go with anybody. But wait, so these sayings were only said when when someone else picked you up from school, or was it just anytime anyone picked you up anywhere?
When someone picked me up from school.
Chris, what was yours?
Macaroni and cheese.
Oh, that's a good one.
My favorite thing in the whole world. I figured if someone knows my favorite thing in the entire world, which it could have also just been like Kraft macaroni and cheese, like Blue Box. I'll go home with you. And by the way, I still will.
What if a stranger actually had a bowl of Kraft macaroni and cheese and didn't say it? It wouldn't matter if they were like sharpening a knife. You would have gotten in the car.
I'd be very like, well, God, I don't think you need a knife to eat macaroni and cheese, but what if you do? Like they do things different in different cultures.
Did you not have a safe phrase, or did your parents always pick you up?
I took the bus home from work. From
school. I took the bus too,
home.
But it took a long time because I lived in a very rural area.
Oh no, my parents were like, "You would get on that bus like every other, lower middle class person." So I got on the school bus, and the school bus luckily dropped me off on the corner of my street. So there was a major street, and then it dropped me off at the perpendicular corner. And then I would just like walk home, and either my older sister would be there, or I would walk to the babysitter's house, and the babysitter's house wasn't far from my own home. It was still in my neighborhood. my parents managed to found somebody. So yeah, and then when I was in high school, my dad got me because I said I'm no longer taking the bus. You will pick me up. I will wait at school until 7 p.m. until you get me.
Must have been nice to have been actually taken care of by your family. Sorry, Chris.
We have different lives. No siblings. And he's like, wouldn't know. Like,
must have been nice to have to been a priority.
I mean, I don't feel like one, as a child of like boomers, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
You never will of a child of boomers.
You never
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's funny.
One last little bit about Rapunzel and Ronald 2.0. Actually, I should never say that because I can't imagine this guy would ever be Ronald. Ronald is one of those people in the history of 90 Day Fiancé who I'm generally afraid of. I think he's a dangerous, scary person. I think he would leverage anything against Tiffany to get back at her. He makes my blood turn to ice. I find Ronald just to be horrific. And it really pisses me because when I first met him, I thought he was a little hot. But then I saw that huge melon that sits atop his torso, and it started going less than for me.
No, I think that Wayne wants to be, a rugged guy, like there's some things are going to set up that he can protect her, but he seems like he, loves being, kind of like Soup's mask and maybe a little alpha. Okay, so obviously the power grid goes off and then the security systems go down and then anyone can just rob anyone at that time, honey. It's like a free for all, which kind of is
the Purge. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Purge. But the Purge straight up, I feel like was based on that. We all read a short story like in 8th grade called The Lottery, right? Which is like
Shirley Jackson.
Yes, thank you. So it's like that where it's like we all get that sometimes we all need to get it out. I know. The lottery was like, the lottery is like someone's got to die. Someone's got to die all the time. And who's it going to be?
You're giving away the ending, but it was a really great story because you drew the lottery and everyone was very excited about who this person was. And she was very excited. And then at the end, someone picks up a stone and they see the person throw it at them and everyone starts throwing it at this girl. I'm not sure why someone has to die. I can't remember in the part of it, but that was it made a big impact on me. And of course, Little J Bird read Everything Possible by Shirley Jackson after that.
Yes, The Lottery is a short story by Shirley Jackson, first published in The New Yorker in 1948. The story describes a small American community which observes an annual tradition known as the Lottery, in which a member of the community is selected by chance and stoned to death to ensure a good harvest and purge the town of bad omens.
There you go.
Okay, I'm not living in a small rural town.
No.
We should do that with Danielle. Danielle and Johan.
Honey, just like stoner?
I mean, did you see her in that little elves outfit?
What?
Y'all, everyone's been sending it to me because I really find her one of the most repellent cast members that we've had in quite a while. And I call her the miserable bitch. But she was out on the beach walking this dog, and the dog was just trying to break away, and almost all the comments were even the dog's trying to run away.
Jesus.
Yeah, they're on this season. I'm can't believe they're on. I thought that he came to America for some reason. I don't understand.
No, she's gonna be on there and just completely undercut him at every chance. He's gonna get upset. She'll act like the victim, which is what she's wanted all along. And because all she really wants is that, let's be honest, that walking stick between his legs, that she can brag to other women that she's got.
She's the new Angela, except for less screamy.
She is, and I think she is the new Angela, but there's also she's smarter than Angela, and I think that's the one thing that I can't even trust, because she knows how to get her fame and not how to act like Angela only knows how to act like a clown.
Mm-hmm.
You goddamn
Um,
son of a bitch.
Exactly. That's her shtick. Danielle's is not that. Danielle's is doing all this empowerment shit, and probably a lot of it will make can help some people, but she's a terrible person. Speaking of someone who's not terrible, or maybe I don't even know. We don't know these two people. All I can say is Julio is a DJ and he likes to travel, and to me, all this I worry for Kirsten because this guy just seems like an F-boy. I'll be honest. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's settled down, but he's only 27. Julio, 27 from Brentwood, New York, and Kirsten, 24 from the Netherlands. What do y'all think about this couple?
Go ahead, Wa.
I am in support of Julio and Kirsten's love.
Julio!
I think they're going to make it. And the fact that they've lived together for 2 months and have already seen what it's like
Good point.
gives me that hope for them.
Good point.
And we haven't really met her. I mean, she's given us like through filters a fake face and then like a real face. So like, I want to see her real personality. Go.
Did you notice that she had like midway through the Talking Heads, she had another procedure? Like halfway through, she got her lips done. Like, yeah, it was like halfway through. Yeah, or something like that.
I can't tell what she looks like because so much of what we're seeing is in a filter, like
she's a two-face. It's really hard to know, or at least a four-face. Like, she's a Dutch Barbie for sure.
In a filter. In a filter for
true.
sure. And outside of the filter, a little average, more average.
Less Barbie, more Skipper,
Props.
Netherlands look gorgeous. They're riding bikes everywhere. Like he came from the DR, when his mom...
Hot. He's hot.
He's gorgeous. And by the way, his mom is hot as hell too. So his mom is just getting like so many like different men's just being like, please come to America and I will just like provide for you. Just like not without my son, honey.
I love that. Which I guess
Not without my daughter, starring
not without my daughter. Which I guess you shouldn't get an award for saying I'm going to leave my son in the DR. But
so many people do.
That's true.
So she should.
Larissa.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
So many leave their kids.
Yeah. So she's like, no, and they have a beautiful relationship. That's why I don't think he's a fuckboy, because I feel like he loves women because he was raised. I mean, I want this for him.
I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
For me, it is the coat of many colors of a DJ that he's wearing when he talks about loving travel. He's been to 28 countries. I don't love living in this country, so I'll go find somewhere else. It's that life of a nomad that kind of gives me a little bit of, but I think you're right. They did live together 2 months, so I have better. I don't dislike him in any way. I just hear. I think it's because I hear the word DJ and travel and good vibes, and immediately I go, F boy.
You're not wrong. And plus, like, he literally was like, I just saw her on Instagram and I could totally tell that, like, we had so much in common because of her feed. She just, like, loves looking hot and traveling, and she loves eating food and looking hot, which is, like, such the most important things in my life. I get that.
We're vibing. We really vibe. It's like Love Island, but on a higher level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, of course, it is troublesome that he is only too happy for her to mispronounce his name because it quote unquote sounds more European. And even though she's like, just so you all know, I know what I'm saying sounds crazy and I'm doing it because he wants it. Even though wink, I wish, it's weird.
It's kink. Yeah. It feels a little kink, which is fine, but your kink shouldn't be the basis of your entire relationship. But what it also gives me pause is he hasn't told anyone in his family, and they've been seeing each other for what? 2 years?
That's true.
They're gonna talk shit. That's why. It's because they're gonna be like,
I get you.
Blanquita,
the friends are gonna talk shit
to the Netherlands, to this like girl. And you're right. He started off as a fuckboy, but then he got quarantined with her and was forced to just let it all go. They were pooping in front of each other, and then no more of that nonsense could occur.
Watching Christmas specials.
Yes.
And ordering in food. By the way, I love that the mother knows all of this, and he's like, yeah, I've got this friend coming, it's a girl, and she's like, oh yes, and at one point she's like, you will enjoy and I will suffer. That's brutal.
I know, and he's like, but don't you want me to be happy? And she's like, with
not if
me,
not if it impinges on my happiness at all.
nearby me. It's like, you know what I did? Never leave your side and make you come with me. And now what you want to do is like, bye, bitch. Are you kidding me? I brought you here, and
I think she would get used to it. I think she's going to have to know this Dutch woman for a while, and I'm glad that she's coming over here. That was a smart move. I think I hope, Wa, that you're right. I just this guy gives me Patrick and Miriam vibes.
Oh, I thought you said Patrick and
Thais.
Yeah.
Thais. No, I was talking Patrick and Miriam. Patrick was like a DJ. Patrick from season 1, before the 90 days. From Miriam, he went to go meet the girl in France.
Black Patrick, yes.
Yes, DJ Patrick.
Yes.
And but I think, remember, Miriam was just there to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
That was rough. And DJs in general, it's kind of like you, me, and my ex when DeAndre was a club promoter. When we said, y'all, just don't fuck a club promoter. You can fuck a club promoter. Don't date them.
Yeah.
So I hope, I wish them all the best. Like Sean Robinson says. I think I get a little nervous when things seem easy because it always feels a little Matt Sharpie to give us something that doesn't seem like there's a big, there's a lot to overcome.
Yeah, there's not high stakes.
Yeah, and so sometimes things fall apart easier.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling, sadly, I think Tammy Brown out of drag and Mary, Queen of the Philippines, they might have something.
Wow.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, it is Tammy Brown out of drag. You're absolutely right. Every time you say it, I keep just seeing Tammy Brown with like a really pencil thin brow.
We got a message from her after we posted on our socials, and she just went, kiss. And I said, that's a very Tammy Brown DM.
Absolutely.
I'm a fan.
The one thing I want to say is that, okay, we all watch Love is Blind, yes?
Yes.
Okay. You know the one blonde girl who was with Paul?
Micah's
Yes.
best friend in the green satin for her birthday.
Oh, yes.
Doesn't Kirsten kind of look like her?
A little bit, a little thinner and less years on her.
Yeah, a little of the eyebrows, but a lot of
yes.
the fake hair, the fake like blonde, not as bleached, but like she was giving that vibe to me. Just
Michelle from Bloody Day, FIANCÉ, and I talked about her, and she said, I cannot be convinced that woman is not Micah's birth mother.
Oh my God.
And I've been laughing about it ever since. He was like, but Micah came out fully formed.
Oh my God. You know what I wanted to say based on your conversation with Bloody Day in your last episode?
Yeah.
I too noticed the twin blind cats.
Yes.
I too noticed them, and when you said that, I was like, "Oh my God!"
It was very disturbing. They've got these cutaway, this like B-roll filler this season, and it's like, how can we show the most objectionable thing possible?
Mm-hmm.
Like last season, they just showed poop. I feel like we're in a new era of B90, especially B90, where it's like, let's show the most abject thing possible and cross-cut it with something nice. They're auteurs, I'm telling you.
Yeah, they had that woman making poop patty pies.
Yes.
In something with, I don't know if that was Osama. Yeah.
Anything more else about these two? I think for me, this feels low stakes, and maybe it's just easy, which is fine. This is the first Dutch person y'all have since Jessie. Jessie. It is an illusion. If you think you will not throw your Louboutins at me.
I think that you are absolutely right, which begs the sharp sharpism of having a secret. You know, like
yes, good point.
I bet you anything what's going to happen is, you know, whether it's going to set it up. Obviously, at the very end of this moment, so basically, you know, he has a sad conversation with his mom about, you know, that he's gonna leave her for his own happiness, even though, you know, like she did everything possible for his, ha ha ha, and
Yeah.
obviously the beer pong conversation of like, does she even play beer pong? Which is like, yeah, you know, she can easily play beer pong, you know, like that's neither here nor there.
I think the rules are easy to explain.
I know. I believe me. It's like anyway, but
Like,
yes.
she didn't have one of those conversations with her friends. Like, does he eat speculoos?
Can he even ride bike? You know, like
Does he know what a dike is?
Does he like the windmill?
Yeah. Is he going to understand wooden shoes?
does he have a stroopwafel? Which I mean, I've had many. I fucking love
a good fucking stroopwafel.
Nothing
Fuck
better
that.
than a stroopwafel.
You will never get me to talk bad about a stroopwafel.
Honey, I'll have
Does
one
he
right
love the
now.
tulip?
But yeah, basically he goes to the airport, whatever. So he's going to the airport to pick her up, but at this point she hasn't even gotten on the plane because they took her passport before they could bring her on the plane. So I don't understand, is he there 10 hours early or has she been delayed 10 hours?
This was very confusing. I agree.
No, you guys, she's
What?
in New York and he's at the airport in New York and she's stuck in customs.
Oh, I was confused
in
about
New
that.
York.
Oh, is that what it is, babe?
How
Okay,
are
well
we
then-
so dense about this, Chris?
I
was
don't
confused
know.
too.
So then they take her passport, and she's being treated like a criminal, and that's the last we get. So like, what I'm trying to tell you is, what if she's like, okay, I did have a secret. I 10 years ago served 5 years in prison for a huge drug bust. You know, like what if it was love after lockup, that kind of situation?
Or she's an exotic animal smuggler, like she's got an iguana in her bag or something.
Oh God! Or wait,
prostitute.
She's a prostitute. Well, she's an escort and she's been traveling around the world. Yeah, for sure.
God, I love all of these, and I really hope it's one of them because I need a real just striking left turn in this storyline.
Yeah, we all need it. We all need
Yo,
it. A sharp turn.
A sharp turn in the storytelling. Last little bit here, y'all.
I'm done. I think I'm done.
Kenny and Armando, there's really nothing. I'm just glad to see them back on my TV. I enjoy them. They're like a welcome hot toddy for me. They don't have problems.
We love you. We love you. I love you. I love you. And it's not that I don't love Kenny and Armando. I very much do.
Don't like them. I think it's because I'm gay, so I have to like them. Otherwise,
they are boring.
They are boring. You're right.
They're not even, and I mean this. Okay, they're not. They are so lovely, and I would love to be friends with them. And I would be like, "You guys are awesome," and you know, like I want you at my house, and like let's have dinners, and like whatever. I'll go on vacations with you. But not everyone needs to be on TV for multiple seasons as a watchable pair of funny, dynamic commentary. But honey, they have Kenny doing commentary like if he's a comic during the tell-alls, and I have to put 2 feet down and be like, he's not funny.
It does feel like we're in the mid 90s and someone who's openly gay is on television, so we're putting them in everything. It does. They are both extremely safe. That's why give me. I still think yes, it is gay rights to have people on, and it was gay rights to have Love in Paradise of them talking about their top and bottom situation, Carlos and Valentine. But give me a messy throuple on a gay throuple like we just had on Below Deck. Give that to me, and on 9 Day Fiancé. And give me a conversation like, why are we even together if we can't be happy in Sardinia? Like one just said.
Wait a minute. So wait, I want you to note this time is 17:49 in. I have a question, and if it's inappropriate, please cut it out.
That's gonna be fine for this show.
Who's the top? Who is the top? And Kenny, is Kenny the top?
I think. Okay, this is a really good question.
Activo.
We have Activo and Pasivo. We have had disagreements about this. I think Kenny is the top, but he's a feminine top, which is also called a blouse. And but
New terminology.
but I don't think anal is the basis of their relationship. I think they do a lot of tight holding. Um and mutual jerk off. I think they reserve. I think, and I think Kenny likes to get pounded occasionally, but I think it's rare. I think Kenny is the feminine blouse top, and Armando is the pass around bottom.
Okay, great.
Who
Thank you
gets
for that. I
a
need
little freaky deaky when she needs to.
okay.
Blouse, honey. We all. I mean, thank you so much. I didn't know. I didn't know that.
This is,
Okay, I didn't know.
I'm here to educate.
Thank you.
I'm going to do a Below Deck podcast in a few minutes with two straight guys from another Below Deck podcast
Yeah.
where I'm going to be Pat and Dylan, where I'm going to be talking about the dynamics of a gay throuple. So it is just a teachable moment for, for me.
Teach the children. Teach them.
Great.
I just got to say, I'm glad to see Hannah, who's 9 years old now, who's a fucking icon. And
her English, she's fluent now.
Oh my God, I love her so much. Y'all, here's the thing. They're going to move to Mexico City. This is, I don't even mean to be mean about this, but we've already kind of been, I think this is filler. It's not that I have a problem seeing it. I do not think they will have a baby. Kenny is 60 and Armando has a child, and I think he wants a child with Kenny. But I don't know if they'll want to do it. I don't know if they'll want to do it on the show. I don't know. Maybe they will. I don't know. I think they're happy. I think Kenny and Armando see what they're doing as it's great because this is representation for gay dads. And so I think that's why they kind of have a noble reason for doing it. But like you said, it is a bit like I like them personally, but it doesn't provide the most compelling TV. I agree.
Yeah. It's for the culture, but not in the way that I normally mean. But
Totally. I also want to say that I was in Mexico City for 2.5 days, and I've never been in a place that has more traffic than Mexico City. Holy Jesus, and I live in Los Angeles. Holy Jesus Christ.
Jesus Cristo. Yes.
It was something. It's one day, I think I spent like 2.5 hours in an Uber, and we only went 5 miles. It was something. And I was like, should we ride the metro? And the woman at the hotel's like, no, people who look like you need to ride the metro in Mexico City. She's like, no, you don't. Anyway, but that's all. I don't even have a ton about Kenny and Armando. I'm glad. I like them both. I'm glad that they're on and they're having a discovery for the first time. I also want to point out that Kenny's rainbow thing is from the No Maza Couture collection. Your employer. Yeah. No Maza is where we order. It's the House of No Mazas where we get all of our couture. Yeah.
Cool.
You can wear it one time and then it falls apart. But you know what? That one time is worth it.
You know what, Chris, did we even talk about Kenny and Armando?
We did because the horses. Remember, you were like, you said you thought it was privileged that they were riding horses. I mean, I'm gonna call it, remember that part?
Yeah, I know. So I'm glad we did because I don't remember talking about them at all.
It feels a little Brokeback Mountain for me at the very beginning. It does feel like two gays way out on a limb riding horses. Like at any moment, someone's gonna have like a freak out, and the horse is gonna bolt, and there's gonna be a lot of squealing.
Oh no! Oh no!
I think that's.
Yeah, I will say this is one thing. I do like them too. I said this and I think that the only drama that they really truly have is whether Kenny's family feels like he just just up and abandoned them. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
And because because he kind of did.
Well, he is 60, and as I said before, they grown, and they do have their own kids, and he can still fly back and forth. But here's my thing about this. They made it seem like there was money issues and he couldn't go back. Kenny like owns rental property. He
Mm.
owns like shit. He can fly back every other fucking week if he wants to. I really think that was all manufactured.
Yeah. He didn't put
uh,
them fireworks on credit. You know what I'm saying? Like Kenny, that wedding was fantastic.
That wedding was like, I guarantee you that was a $40,000 wedding.
Yeah, and I guarantee you Kenny paid for it.
All of
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah. So
That was a $40,000 wedding.
Yeah. I
Is
don't
that,
really,
wait, so you're saying that's you're gonna kill me? Is that meaning you're saying that it was cheap or expensive?
expensive.
I think that was expensive. I think maybe was $40,000 not expensive. I'm a gay guy. I'm not going to get married
because there's no wedding dress. There's no wedding dress. They didn't have a wedding dress.
That's
they
true.
Didn't
It's just
have,
two tuxes.
they didn't have like a full party train of like it's an expensive wedding in Mexico. It's an
In
expensive
Mexico.
wedding. Yeah.
Okay, just I'm
Sorry,
horrible
we're not
bitch.
all Persian from.
I know. I'm like
fucking-
that's a flower budget. I mean, I don't have to tell you.
Exactly. We're
How
all
how
not
much
used
do
to
you think-
Persian weddings for $300,000 each.
Chris, what is it? What is it? What's the number you're thinking of? What a wedding costs? 100,000? Am I on?
Starting.
Okay. More than that. I
Y'all-
just want to know. I don't know. I've never looked into weddings.
The
I've never
food
looked into-
and the venue and the flowers and the rentals and the
I don't know. Yeah,
And
okay, great.
and
I've
the
never looked
marching
into it.
band.
Yes!
And
The-
the all night dancing.
the all night, honey, and the alcohol.
That's true. I just want to
200,000?
say, I just want to say, Chris is coming from a different cultural perspective than both Juan
I
and
know. I
I.
just want a number. I
And
don't know.
Los Angeles Persian weddings are infamously lavish and infamously long.
Well,
I just want to
Lebanese?
quickly.
You mean
yeah,
Lebanese?
I personally am.
Why
It's
did I
very.
think
It's
you were
very.
Persian. I thought
I
you
think
were
it's so
Persian.
similar. It's also because you know why the queen of Queen of Iran was named Farah. Ha ha ha. No,
Oh,
but
I thought
Lebanese.
you were
People, I'm
Persian.
Lebanese. No, I'm
Oh,
Lebanese.
okay.
But there is a
I'm so sorry.
I don't give one F. But there is this Instagram account called @Lebanese Weddings, which is obviously what it is, Lebanese weddings, and they are the
Yeah.
most over the top garish things in the whole world, and definitely more than $40,000. But let me just say this: yeah, the Kenny and Armando thing. We'll just see what happens. I think that like I just don't want a whole other season of will they, won't they with the baby, and so now
Agreed.
it's like will they, won't they with the baby, and now Mexico City, and it's like.
Will they go to the Frida Kahlo Museum?
Yeah. Will they adopt the child from the orphanage? Remember, they went to an orphanage the last time we saw them.
Yeah, and then they were like, "Just kidding, we can't." Which I'm sorry, you can't. I mean, no, but you know what's? I want okay. Is Hannah modeling yet? Like, at least let me see some
Hannah
stage
wants to be in
dad shit.
pageants.
Yeah, like at least I want to see some stage dad shit. Like because at least if she's in pageants or modeling, there's the built-in stakes of will she or won't she get her little dream? Which
Exactly.
I mean. Listen. I watched every part of Toddlers and Tiaras. Like,
Oh.
I will watch it. I'm only too happy to. So, like, give me a little of that, like, and call it a season.
Agree.
She has her own Instagram, and I follow it. So Hannah's fabulous.
Hannah has her own Instagram. Fuck
Yeah.
that. Oh my god, y'all.
At Lebanese weddings. I'm just kidding.
Lebanese part owner. Y'all. Thank Chris and Wah. Thank you so much for doing this premiere for me. I'm so excited to DM with you about this because I think the season's going to be a mess.
Mhm.
The B90 season's already a mess. Thank you for filling in for Maddie, who's got a cat face put on. Probably by now.
Yeah, you know what?
so-
We are always available. So
Oh, thank
you
you.
know, we're here.
All right,
Um,
y'all. We will tell us where you can be found. Tell us where people out there can find you.
Ooh, thank you so much. Okay, so if you don't know, that's why I'm Chris, and of course we do DocuSweeties, which is our podcast where we review docuseries, and 90 Day Fiancé and the Love After Lockup juggernauts are one of them, as well as obviously the Mermen. We'll get into that. So you can follow us. I know, right? You can follow us on all the social medias at DocuSweeties on Instagram after you're done with Lebanese weddings and Hannah's, and then at DocuSweeties on TikTok, at DocuSweeties1 on Twitter. You can listen to our podcast, of course, Apple, Spotify, all of that. And then anything else, Juan?
Yeah, I mean, if you just want to jump right in, if you fell in love with us right now, you can just like support your girls at
How could you
patreon.com.
not? Honestly.
At patreon.com/DocuSweeties. It's $10 a month because we are expensive. No, but with $10 a month, you get the visuals of whatever you're listening to, as well as you get a live every first Monday of the month, and you get specific content because Chris and I will like cut and just not give it to the free feed, but we'll give it to the Patreon. And our patrons love us. So, join us.
If you want to watch us poop, or you also want smelly things of us, you can just let us know. And that might be an extra tier, but we'll work it out for you.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
We love it.
We love you. Thank you so much for having us on.
Thank you guys. It's always a good friend time when we're like hanging out. I can't wait to see it. We're going to be a podcast moment, which we'll announce a little bit later. But thank you guys, and we'll see you later. And in the meantime, brush your hair. To y'all out there, if you've got hair that's 5 feet long, brush your hair.
Yeah. Also, brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth.
Don't shoot yourself in the face with your own filler.
That's true. That's a good piece of advice.
Yeah.
And with that, we say bye-bye.